Moving on to episode 2, the man who was previously confined in a high-security capsule is now free as well. The guards refer to him as prisoner 1001, and they are in a state of panic because this is a high classification case. 3 guards then decide to confront prisoner 1001 to prevent the wrath of Warden Palpol. Strangely, it appears that Daroka recognizes the prisoner. Following this, prisoner 1001 dispatches the 3 guards who attempted to kill him. Armed with a pistol taken from the guards, prisoner 1001 approaches the defenseless Daroka and points the pistol at her. Daroka lies there believing she has been shot. However, it turns out that prisoner 1001 aimed his shot to release the shackles binding Daroka. Shortly thereafter, the detention camp announces to all the guards that the doors of the 1st to 6th prison zones have been opened. Many prisoners have escaped as a result. Meanwhile, in the State Security Bureau building, the head of state security is giving orders to someone. The head of the bureau asks the person to go to the Mayhem detention camp and report on the situation there. The person agrees with a relaxed attitude, as if playing around. The head of the bureau is Senior Officer Yamato, accompanied by his younger sister, Officer Yuki, who is the deputy head of the bureau. It appears that Yuki does not appreciate the attitude of the officer sent by her brother. Despite her attitude, Yamato warns Yuki not to antagonize him. The officer is named Ikout, and he is a backbone of the country, just like Yuki. At this moment, Palpol is in the storage room of confiscated items in the Mayhem detention camp. He is in a state of panic because this room has also been opened. His subordinates explain that all of this happened because the escaped girl prisoner managed to pass voice authentication on Palpol's smartphone. However, he finds this situation impossible. Even if the voice authentication succeeded, Palpol does not have the authority to open prisoner 1001's cell. That prisoner is a level SS danger, serving a permanent sentence, a student of magic, Adonis, and the magic pen that was in the storage room is now missing. Adonis, who has escaped, is now on top of a building, trying out his magic. It turns out that his written summoning magic is activated when he writes with his pen. While activating the magic, Adonis fires a bullet from his pistol. Adonis makes the shot bullet expand greatly using his magic. Consequently, the colossal bullet hits a building in front of him. After confirming that his magic works, Adonis intends to eliminate all the people here. On the other hand, Ikout has arrived at the Mayhem detention camp and reported that Adonis is not there. He then received another report of a building being hit by a colossal bullet, most likely the work of Adonis. Before Ikout departs, he intends to eliminate the root cause of the problem, Warden Palpol. At the same time, it appears that Daroka has also managed to escape from the detention camp. She is shocked when she sees the massive bullet hitting a building and blames herself for releasing a dangerous prisoner. Meanwhile, Adonis is currently muttering to himself. He is certain that Chloe would not approve of his intention to kill all humans. 10 years have passed since then, and Adonis has never forgotten everything that happened to Chloe. He then uses his magic in the middle of the street, summoning a giant stone warrior that emerges from the ground. The giant warrior proceeds to destroy everything in its path while carrying Adonis in its left palm. Not far from there, a police station receives a call about a giant appearing in the area. The police officers who take the call are naturally skeptical. Suddenly, a car crashes into the police station. The driver of the car appears extremely frightened, having seen something unsettling. The police officer who checks on the driver accuses them of driving under the influence of drugs. The officer then calls the central office to request the narcotics division to come over. As the officer steps out a bit, they realize that there is indeed a giant in the area. It seems like they need security bureau members to come here. Adonis' current main objective is to go to the palace and eliminate Emperor Goth. In the Security Bureau building, Yamato receives a detailed report about the appearance of the giant. Yamato asks if anyone has reported this to Emperor Goth. It appears that this information has not reached Emperor Goth due to the Authority Bureau's interference. Based on the Empress's statement, Emperor Goth's condition has not improved. After hearing this, Yamato decides to declare a state of emergency using his authority. Yamato has prepared various forces to deal with the giant. He observes the current situation from a distance and is puzzled by how the stone giant can move. Yuki, who is with him, receives a report that prisoner 1001 and the magic pen from the Mayhem detention camp have disappeared. This suggests that the giant is likely a result of the magic used by Adonis, the student of magic. Upon hearing this, Yamato feels that this situation can be more easily handled. They just need to use the photon magic inhibitor devices in the underground chamber. Unfortunately, these devices are from 10 years ago, and they are not sure if they still function. Yamato entrusts the device issue to Yuki. It appears that a tank battalion is aiming at the giant. On the first shot, all their cannons missed the target. When they fired for the second time, for some reason, their cannons also didn't hit the giant. It turns out that Adonis was using magic to deflect the cannons. Adonis then controls the giant to destroy a building, directing the debris towards the tank battalion. During the 10 years of his confinement, Adonis used that time for limitless thinking simulations. There's only one way for non-magic users to employ magic, and that's through written summoning magic. They must understand the structure of magic, systematize it, and then turn it into a formula with a special feather pen. Without the guidance of a great mentor, this method can't be comprehended. From the giant's palm, Adonis uses his magic to create 2 machine guns and shoots at all the people in front of him. At the same time, Eekhout observes the giant from a distance and reports it to the head of the Security Bureau. As suspected by the Security Bureau, the mastermind behind the giant is Adonis, the student of magic. Shortly after that, fighter jets approach the giant. The missiles they launch successfully hit the giant, but the explosion also affects the people in the vicinity. Adonis is now lying down due to the impact of the missile explosion. It seems that his body has indeed become slower compared to 10 years ago. Meanwhile, we are shown Emperor Guth, who is seriously ill and sleeping in his bed. Emperor Goth hears the commotion outside, but the Empress reassures him and tells him to rest. In reality, Emperor Goth did not expect to be afflicted with an incurable disease. Whether it's a curse or not, he doesn't know. Nevertheless, Emperor Goth does not regret his actions. This nation has built an advanced scientific civilization and has eradicated all the witches to allow humanity to progress. According to Emperor Goth, if there were still witches in the world, humanity would never advance. Humanity must use its own strength to pave the way. That's why Emperor Goth believes he has done the right thing. On the other hand, all the troops that stormed Adonis have lost contact with the command center. It appears that they have been completely slaughtered. Shortly after that, the Security Bureau received a report that a civilian was approaching Adonis. Adonis is currently strangling the last surviving soldier before killing him. Before he does it, suddenly, Doroka's voice is heard asking Adonis to stop. Doroka can't bear to see so many innocent lives being taken. She doesn't want any more innocent people to die. Upon hearing this, Adonis immediately kills the soldier he was strangling. He laughs when Doroka refers to the people he killed as innocent. Adonis starts thinking about something even more horrifying, regardless of whether they are from Rhedia or not. All humans are his enemies, including Doroka, who is a prisoner. Suddenly, Doroka mentions that Klo would never want Adonis to do this. Adonis becomes even angrier because Doroka is talking about Klo so casually. He now considers Doroka as bait to hinder him before the next wave of troops arrives. Adonis is well aware of the cunning tricks humans use. Just like 10 years ago, Adonis and Klo would never lose if they fought fairly and honestly. Unexpectedly, Doroka admits that she is a witch. Nevertheless, Adonis doesn't believe that there are witches left in this world. He becomes even angrier, thinking that Doroka is pretending to be a witch. However, Doroka insists that she is one of the survivors of the witch hunts. Although it is true, Adonis remains angry because they did not come to save Klo at that time. Doroka apologizes, explaining that at that time the witches were busy escaping. Adonis does not accept her apology. It's too late. Klo cannot come back to life. Surprisingly, Doroka states that Klo can be resurrected. At first, Adonis does not believe it and considers it an insult. However, Doroka explains that she came to this country to save Adonis, all for the purpose of resurrecting Klo. To do that, Adonis is a necessary requirement. There must be memories belonging to both Adonis and Klo. Adonis still doesn't care. He wants to kill everyone who disrespected Klo and everyone who mentioned her name. It seems that Doroka failed to convince him. She accepts if Adonis wants to kill her. As he looks at Doroka's face, Adonis is reminded of Klo, who smiled in her final moments. His intention wavers and Adonis starts to shed tears. In reality, he wants to believe that Klo can be resurrected. At that moment, Doroka reaches out her hand to Adonis. Before he can grasp it, Doroka's body is suddenly split in half by a sniper shot.